didn't feel comfortable going back to something that made me feel uncomfortable. All right, preachers were still, to me, ripping off the congregations and teaching that pie in the sky. So I continuously called myself a Muslim. It's one of them pauses again. And I was in Japan at the time, and I met some African Muslims. And they, am going too fast? We okay? Am I boring you? Because I could tap dance. I got many talents, but I can't, my wife says I can't sing. But anyway, I was in Japan and I met some African Muslims. And you know how something keeps gnawing at you? Now, I heard about Orthodox Islam, but what they taught us in the nation about Orthodox Muslims, that they had 4 or 5 wives, they smoked dope and all that other stuff. So I didn't want to go become one of them people. So what I did was, when you have no place to go, where do you go? Back to what you used to do. And what I used to do, I used to party. I loved it. If anything I missed on the planet is dancing, because I could dance. So I went back to party and drinking and this and that, but it seemed like, again, God just gnaws at you. And when I met the African Muslims, they came over to my house, and we sat down and talked, and I'm like, I don't want to be no Sunni Muslim. I don't want to do that stuff. You know, I don't want to have 4 or 5 wives. It was bad enough dealing with one of them. Oh, I'm sorry. But anyway, it just kept gnawing at me and gnawing at me and gnawing at me. Then I got a book and I taught myself how to pray like Sunni Muslims. I left Japan and went to Colorado. I'm in the Air Force now. And this Catholic preacher, I worked in the prison. And there was Muslims in the prison. There were Muslims in the military, in the United States military, and they do crimes too. And they happen to be in, and every day this man will come to me. You need to go back to your religion. You need to go back to your religion. Your people need you. Your people need my people. I don't have criminals. You need your people. Your people need you. And you need to meet Talib Sharif, and you need to do this. I was out there. I was getting my groove on it. I didn't want to be nowhere around him. But he kept gnawing at me, kept gnawing at me. And then one day, I said, that's it. It was the 4th of July. I was drunk in Cuda Brown. And I told my friends, I said, I'm not going to any clubs no more. I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm going back to my religion, all right? And that day, the next day, I became a Sunni Muslim, all right? The first mosque that I went to was all African American. And I felt real bad because now I felt like I was back in the nation again. And I didn't want to be in something that was just black oriented. I wanted to feel the beauty of religion. So I found a mosque that had, you know, people from all nationalities. And I had to teach myself to pray. So now you'll have to bear with me. So I'm going to take you through a little journey. When I was in the military and I wore my uniform, I was one of the first Muslims in the military, this is called a kufi cap, to wear it in my uniform. Now, mind you, I was considered the prize of Lowry Air Force Base. The general on Lowry Air Force Base, anytime he needed anything, he would call upon me to resolve any situation. The day, and I told him, I said, and I went to his office and said, this is a kufi cap, and based upon my rights as of, according to religious beliefs, I'm going to wear my kufi cap. If Jewish people can wear the yarmulke, I'm going to wear this. So I put it on. We had a good laugh because I looked funny. And he said, you know, you're going to have hell to pay when you go to work tomorrow. So the next day when I put my uniform on, and I looked at my cap, and I put my cap on, if y'all laugh, I teach karate. And I'm pretty good. I put my cap on and my uniform on. Now, everybody on that base knew me, loved me, but the minute I put this on, they attacked me. They told me you have to take it off. They called me heathen. They called me all kind of names. But I stood fast in my belief and said, I'm not going to do that. So then I was in Colorado. And when I get into things, I go over heels with it. I not only changed my first and middle name, I changed my last name also. So my name became, instead of Bruce Wayne Clymer, it became Idris Amir Khalid. And it meant a ruler of a kingdom, a ruler of a... See, I don't know how to dress. You want to dress me? Isn't that what wives are supposed to do, dress their husbands? And if their husbands ain't around, Mom, Or you have good sisters-in-law to tell you it's going backwards. So I changed my name to Idris Amir Khalid, and I thought that in order for me to become a Muslim, I had to dress like Muslims, like in the Middle East. What are you laughing at? This is how your son used to walk. I used to walk around Denver, Colorado, like this. And I remember somebody said, why don't you trade your truck in for a camel? And I kindly asked him to join my karate class, and I beat him up. But mind you, I was about ready to do it. And then I thought that I had to sound like an Arab. Everybody thought I looked like one. If you saw my picture when I went to Mecca, and I shaved all my hair off my head, and I had a beard, my mother said, boy, you look like Gandhi. And when I was over there, that's what they called me, Gandhi, all right? But I had to teach myself how to pray. So if you don't mind, hold your ears. I'm sorry, Clyde. I don't know where the east is, so... Oh, he knows. You had to call the prayer. You had to pray 5 times a day, and I was diligent. I never missed a prayer. Out of 25 years as an Orthodox Muslim, I never missed a prayer. All right? So, hold your ears. And this is called the Adhan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu la illallah. Ashhadu la illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya salat, hayya salat, hayya salat, hayya salat. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. My wife said I sing better in Arabic than in English. I tend to believe her. That wasn't too bad. And what that is saying is that God is great, God is great. There is no God but Allah, and please understand this. Allah is only the Arabic term for God. It's nothing different. Christians call, in Saudi Arabia, call God Allah. That's just, if you're Spanish, you have your name for God, all right? But anyway, I said that, and then I would go into the prayer. Everybody okay? All right? And I had to teach myself how to pray. So you did the Adhan, and then you made your salat, your prayer. And it would go like this. First you had to clean yourself up, make wudu, all right? You wash your hands, you wash your feet, you rinse out your mouth and your nose, and then you go commencing to making your prayer. And go, Allahu Akbar. And I'm just going to say it out loud. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. And then you go through the motions. You say Allahu Akbar again. And you go down. You come up Allahu Akbar. You go down. One more time. And you touch your head to the ground. And I'm just giving you the short version, because it's hot up here. And you go to the right, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and then to the left, and you say the same thing. Now, when I was telling you about the Adhan, you were saying, God is great, God is great. There is no God but God. And then you're bearing witness that Muhammad is the prophet of God. And this is what Muslims believed and Muslims would say at the time of Jesus, that there is no, that Jesus is the prophet of God, that Abraham is the prophet of God, that Moses is the prophet of God. A lot of people do not believe that. They believe that they were praying to Muhammad. And you're not praying to Muhammad, you're praying to God, all right? And I would do this religiously for 5 every day. If I missed my prayer, I would feel guilty. I knew people that would be in the mall. Then it would be time for prayer, they throw their rug down, they start praying. I was in that for this. This is my niece. That for that. Oh boy, and here's the beautiful mom. And she says, is that my uncle up there looking funny? All right. So for my time in the military, I became the imam. And the imam is what he is, the preacher. And I didn't ask to become an imam. I was kind of like thrown into it. So I had to teach myself to give how to do the sermon. And I would stand up here just like Clyde every Friday. Our Muslims' religious day was Friday. It's called Juma prayer. And every Friday until I left, 25 years later, I was up in front of people. It gets taxing because every now and then you need a word. And I would beg people, come up here and just, let me sit down. So every Friday I would be up there and telling them how great God was and this and that. And I would get in arguments with people from the Middle East because when things start getting hot and heavy, and we'll go into 9/11 in a little while, when things would they wanted me to always focus on what was happening over in the Middle East. I'm an American, all right? My home is here. I couldn't be concerned what was happening over in the Middle East, but they wanted me to just focus on that and forget about y'all. My next door neighbors, and now I love everybody. White, black, blue, green, they make me no difference, okay? But everybody did not love me because of what I represented, all right? I was considered the Antichrist, or whatever the case may be, the devil, or whatever, because I was a Muslim. Before I put this garb on, I was the love of the base, okay? But then when they started seeing how I didn't change how I help people. I'm a therapist. I've been a therapist for 30-something years. So I wouldn't care if you were Christian. I wouldn't care if you were Hindu. I didn't care what you were. If you needed my help, I was going to help you. But some people did not want to get help from me because I was a what? A Muslim, all right? And I remember when I was at Lowry Air Force Base, one of my biggest adversaries was a preacher, a female preacher, who did everything that she could possibly do to get this taken off my head, other than taking her hand and snatching it off. My case went to Headquarters Air Force, the highest authority in the military. And they came down and said, leave him alone. He's authorized to wear it. And if there's any more, then they were going to prosecute her. But that still didn't stop them from coming after me. I remember on one occasion when I worked in the prison, and this young man, he needed some help with clothing. And they started, I told the guy, hey, you're the one that's supposed to help.